All right, broski, I'm back with another video. It's on Greg Doucette. Alex Eubank admits not natty. It says Alex Eubank finally admits taking banned PEDs. So he's not natty. Oh, he built his body in, let me see, in one episode, taking a BPC injection. Great, okay. Let's review this video.
Alright guys, no longer natty.
And so exactly, Alex Eubank is not natty. But here's the thing, do we care?
Okay, he's not natty, but did he build his body on being not natty, taking this BPC? That's the question.
Coach Greg, and finally...
The question I have for Coach Greg, how does BPC build a muscle? He says BPC builds a muscle.
A video where Alex Eubank admits to taking banned performance-enhancing drugs. Up until now, he's never stated that he's taken anything that's been banned by WADA, that he's 100% natural. I've spoken about the fact that I didn't believe that he was natural, that I thought he was taking enclomiphene. I described how it would be very difficult to go from having lower levels of testosterone to that into the 900s simply by eating more and taking rest in the gym. But in this video, he literally admits to no longer being natural, and so what is he taking and why? We're gonna explain.
Okay, it says here, injecting my shoulder with BPC, life update. Look, I'm just gonna go over this really quick. I never heard of no BPC building a muscle. As far as I know, in science, and it tells you this everywhere, you could see this in NCBI, Nutrition, Muscle Protein Synthesis, Descriptive Review. It says if muscle is going to gain mass, protein synthesis must exceed protein breakdown. It doesn't say that BPC must exceed this protein breakdown or a steroid or a SARM or any of these things. You understand me? So how the hell could a BPC or any of these drugs work if protein doesn't exceed that breakdown? You understand me? Oh, it's going to magically just build a muscle. The BPC is going to build it out of breatharian diet. Out of a breatharian diet, it's going to... If I'm on a breatharian diet and I take a BPC, do you think it's going to build a fucking muscle, bro? You have to be out of your goddamn mind to believe that a magic pill or a tablet or something is going to magically build a muscle being on a breatharian diet. This is so stupid. And they're not exceeding... Here's the problem. Even if they are taking this BPC shit and whatever else there, if it's not exceeding this breakdown, it's not going to build. And most likely, they're not exceeding that breakdown because you have to eat horrendous amounts of protein to exceed that breakdown. Meaning, you must be in an anabolic growth state. Protein can put you in an anabolic growth state when you exceed protein breakdown. In other words, you have to shut off that catabolic hormone and myostatin. You shut off myostatin and the catabolic hormone so that muscle now can start growing. And it can't be in waves, and it can't be today and tomorrow or yesterday. It has to be right now and continuously every single day in a row till the point that you feel how much muscle you want to put on. Plus, here's another problem. It'll still reach a ceiling limit during hypertrophic process where the progenitor, the satellite cell, can no longer donate any more extra nuclei to that domain to further muscle growth. So how's a BPC going to bypass the myonuclear domain size limit where the satellite cell is not donating any more extra nuclei to that domain to support further muscle growth? Because nuclei synthesize protein. So no matter how much protein you take, without those nuclei, you can't further that domain. And no steroid will do that. Then it goes into a secondary shift. We call this, again, I'll show you this. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. That is the second shift, is a kind of artificial muscle growth wherein muscle increases in size visually by increasing the amount of fluid it can hold, but is not increasing the density of the muscle fibers. It is a kind of artificial muscle growth, broski. Get it? Yeah, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. It takes on a life of its own. It shifts into that because you're eating a herbivore diet. Now, would that happen on a pure carnivore diet? No. No, it wouldn't. It's not. It's not going to happen. Trust me, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, bro. That's why you feel a heavy pump when you go in there, because you can't stop eating carbohydrates. You're eating a herbivore diet. Humans do that. They eat herbivore diets, which is not their diet. Their diet is a carnivore diet, but they'll eat that. So that's why it takes a secondary shift. So you get this artificial muscle growth called sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Are you, now that you're building artificial muscles, eating an artificial diet called carbohydrates, which is not a human diet? Are you building real? Are you a fake natty? Is he a fake natty for building artificial muscles? You understand me? Yes, you're still a fake natty. And anybody who does that naturally, even without this BPC or whatever, is a fake natty.
Why? We're going to explain it, talk about the doses, everything you need to know about BPC 157. And so in case you've never heard of that, BPC 157 is a healing peptide, but it's banned by WADA. WADA is a governing body.
Like anybody gives a shit about WADA. Nobody's competing. We don't care about WADA. Nobody cares. That's for people that compete in competitions. Why is he bringing this up? What does this have to do with the natural, the population out there, what they're doing? Taking drugs recreationally. They don't give a shit about WADA, bro.
That tests drug-tested sports, such as the Olympics, and they list a variety of drugs, peptides, SARMs.
Yeah, sports. You think WADA's going to come knock on your door and say, hey, man, you're taking a banned substance. We have to warn you, don't compete. Oh, okay.
Etc.
I don't plan on competing anyway.
You can't take if you want to compete. And so if Alex Eubanks were to enter a competition and they were to...
Just because on their list it's banned and you take it, so that makes you a fake natty. Let me get this straight. You're not in a competition world and you're taking whatever these drugs are, but because it's on WADA, the special people list, the special people's list, you're considered a fake natty. What?
Watch this video, they can say, hey, you can't compete, you're breaking the rules.
Man, now, you're a fake natty if you're building artificial muscles. That's all I have to tell you. If you're building artificial muscles, if your muscles are artificial, and you're eating an artificial diet, whatever the hell you're doing to build those artificial muscles, then you are a fake natty, regardless if you take a drug or not.
One thing I want to make clear, I personally have nothing against anyone taking any of these things, so long as you're not breaking the law and you're doing so with the advice and consent from your doctor. Now remember, BPC 157, oftentimes people are getting it underground. You don't actually know what you're taking, but there is...
Yeah, he's for testing. It's usually for testing because it's not prescription based, man. So I don't even know why WADA banned it, but whatever. The thing is, it's a peptide to heal some injury in your body. People are using them now to heal problems that they have in their body. They're peptides. Yeah. They ramp up collagen production and a bunch of stuff in there to heal it quicker.
Research to show that it does in fact speed wound healing. It does so by increasing blood vessel growth to the wounded area. And so in Alex Eubanks'
blood vessel growth, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Okay.
case, he has a sore shoulder pain. He has a torn labrum. And so by injecting PBC 157 into the shoulder, it's hoping to heal quicker, perhaps twice as fast as if he wasn't using it. And so what you do is you inject subcutaneously, that means under the skin. It doesn't have to be in the muscle, and near the injured site. The closer to the site, the better. You will in fact get systemic blood vessel growth throughout the body, but it's going to be more specific to where you inject it. And so many people getting injured and they want to heal faster than last time, they're using BPC 157. And the dosing, people vary, but perhaps around 300 micrograms up to maybe 500 micrograms once to twice daily for up to 2 months following an injury. Now, I can say that I have in fact used this in the past, but I've also used something known as TB500, and the dosing, the protocols essentially are the same. And if you were to inject it one time in the day, the best best time is before bed. That is when you're healing the most. You're at rest, you're not moving, you're able to recover. And so if you had an injured tricep, shoulder, anything to that extent, and you were to inject in that area before bed, that would most likely be the best time for you. But remember, I am not a freaking doctor. I have no clue what I'm talking about. I'm not the guy to go for advice for this. Please go see your own doctor and don't break the law. And remember, this is for information purposes only. I'm not claiming to be a doctor. I'm not claiming that everything I say is right. And so watch this video with 5 grains of salt.
Yeah, I want to talk about the whole BPC thing. Apparently it's like a banned substance or whatnot. It's a peptide. It's a healing peptide that helps with aiding like healing in I think like ligaments, wounds. And for me, like you guys gotta realize like this is my job, my career. If I can't train, bro, then I'm screwed. I have to be able to work out, train, make fitness content, whatnot. It's what I do for a living.
And so one thing I think that everyone can agree on is that whether you're natural or enhanced, it's debatable. I think that Alex has no trouble saying he's taking BPC 157 because for the most part, people don't care. If you say, hey, I'm taking a healing peptide, I was injured, I'm taking TB 500, BPC 157.
Alex Eubanks is an influencer. Why the hell would he ever do anything natural? This absolutely does not make sense, man. Who gives Christ? Man, he has to look good. That's the reason why people are watching him.
And I'm only taking these things to help speed an injury. I don't think people are saying, oh, well, you're a fake natty. The only reason you got those muscles is because of those peptides. I don't believe that to be the case at all. And to the same extent, people who smoke weed, doing edibles and so on,
What?
or perhaps...
You don't believe to be the case at all that the BPC created the muscles? He just took the BPC. He already looked like that before he took BPC. What are you talking about, man? Maybe it's creatine he's taking, those fake muscles, taking creatine. But he's not going to admit that be fake natty because that's not on the water list. Creatine, oh my God. Yeah, he gained some 5 pounds of water muscles and he's maintaining it with creatine. Okay, great. Yeah. It does give you a kind of a muscular look, creatine too, doesn't it? Especially these ectomorph people. Yeah, because I seen a guy in the gym taking that constantly.
taking stimulants, people don't view those as being fake naturals either. Many people only view fake natties as if you take something that builds muscle. And I can go so far as some people debate
something that builds muscle. It builds something. I take something that builds muscle. What if it builds water muscles? See what I'm trying to explain to you? Does creatine build muscles? Does it build a muscle? No. Here's a question. Eating carbohydrates and you absorbing carbohydrates in your muscle, did you build a muscle? See what I mean? You did. You did build a muscle, but it's artificial muscles. See what I mean? You built it artificially. Now, if you take a steroid and it absorbs this glycogen in the muscle, a lot of glycogen in there, did you build a muscle? You did. You built a muscle, but it's artificial muscles. And you take a SARM and it grabs this glucose glycogen and it puts it in the muscles, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy muscles, artificial muscle growth. Did you build a muscle? Yeah, but it's artificial muscle growth. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? The only way a muscle could be built is through protein synthesis must exceed that breakdown. And there is an open window during your workout where protein is being broken down. That's right. It is a window for protein synthesis, definitely. There's like a little window there. You go, you work out, whatever. But it's also a window for protein breakdown. You actually are breaking proteins down as you're going through your workout. So are you eating enough to exceed that breakdown and to sustain life? Listen to what they say. You need enough for growth and to counteract that breakdown and to sustain life. See what I'm saying? See what I mean? How much protein do you need then? That's something you need to experiment with. You have to experiment and start eating a lot of protein. I can only explain this to you like this. You can't do it in waves and it can't be up and down to build real muscle, which is solid. Even just the mass. I'm not talking about myofibrillar growth, which equates to another type of training to get myofibrillar growth plus mass together. That's going to take even more protein. You need a lot more protein. It's horrendous amounts. But just to gain that mass, you need a lot to suppress the breakdown of those proteins. Here. Protein synthesis definitely needs to exceed that breakdown. But we don't want a breakdown. So you have to exceed that. In other words, you have to come in the gym where you're not breaking down proteins, you're building proteins constantly. Even when you come in the gym and you start lifting weight, you have to have excessive amounts of protein in your body already. Still, you have to be in a positive nitrogen balance. So there can't be any breakdown whatsoever. You know what I'm trying to explain to you? Whether there's a window for protein synthesis or not, or whether this is a window for protein breakdown, yeah, that may be a window for protein breakdown, but you don't want to break down any proteins. You want to keep building proteins. That's the whole point. You simply want to come in there and open a window for protein synthesis, but you don't want any breakdown. You want to suppress the breakdown. How do you do that? Protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown. That's what they're trying to tell you, the message. You understand me? You have to suppress it by eating so much protein. You have to be full all the time. You can't be hungry. You can't wake up hungry. You can't be hungry during the day. There can't be any hunger pains. If there's a hunger pain, you get a dip in nitrogen balance. And now your body's breaking down protein. And it takes a hell of a lot of time to raise that nitrogen balance back to par. So you're anabolic again. You understand me? That's why it's complicated. Nobody's going to do it.
SARMs or HRT, that's natural, but that is a whole different topic, and I do have that in a different video. So if you're interested in watching that video, click the link in the description. Now remember, I had that. I had to stop squatting, I had to stop deadlifting, my shoulders whatsoever, and so it's really bad. I went to the doctor, they said, yeah, we can perform surgery, BPC-157, TB.
And make content while dealing with it, so that's why I'm trying the BPC-157 to do it. I'm actually curious what exactly. I'm pretty sure it's just like a peptide.
And so obviously it's hard for Alex. He made it's on the WHO's worst list in the #1 category. It's class 1 bad. Used to be you could drink one glass of muscle, but if you take BPC-157, it allows you to recover and allows you to train, then you're in fact going to build muscle, and so it might indirect.
So you're going to build muscle because it allows you to train. It allows you to train so you could go build some muscle. It doesn't build muscle. This is stupid, and neither does a training. That's just dumb, man.
We build muscle. Same as something like GO2 Max, the main ingredient, NMN.
You build muscle when protein synthesis exceeds breakdown. That means there's no breakdown. There's just, it's building proteins. There's no breaking down of proteins at all whatsoever. What do you have to do to be in that? Well, you have to eat a lot of protein. That's all I can tell you. It's a lot. Something you have to practice with, or just go to a buffet and keep eating shitloads, and then eat all day and don't stop. Yeah, that's really what it really is. Consistent eating. To the point where you're so full and never hungry.
It gives you more endurance, more better recovery, more stamina. Think of it. If you take this and you go to the gym.
Yeah, take this. Go to the gym. It gives you stamina, workout, and wear yourself and accelerate your aging better than the last time. Thanks, Greg. Sure, okay.
And normally you do 30 minutes of cardio.
Yeah.
You decide what you think. Perhaps if you're interested in BPC-157, you can do more research. Remember, I'm not telling you to do.
Yes, if you're interested in BPC, just do your own research. Remember, I'm not telling you not to do that. Okay, sure, yes, Greg. Yeah, sure.
Anything. Do your own research, and please consult your own doctor.
There is a peptide called human chronic gonadotropin, which is a lot more safe than taking these stupid laboratory craps for testing purposes only. You don't know what you're getting in there, man.
Doctor, this is your one life that you get to live, and please.
Yes, the one life.
10% off, and until next.
10% off the code. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Alex Eubanks. Yeah, he's BPC, whatever they call it, BPC. He's taking a peptide. So what, man? No, I just this is ridiculous stuff. He's no longer natty. Okay, whatever. See you later, man. Like, subscribe, support the channel, helps the algorithm. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.